The Buffalo Bills survive and advance onto the divisional playoff round, hosting Patrick Mahomes in the Kansas City Chiefs. And UPL shuts down the Sharks. All of this and more on this edition of the Buffalonian Podcast. All right, let's go. We are back with the Buffalonian Podcast. I'm Joe Callie. As always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss. And Dom, in the intro, survive and advance. The Bills defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-17 and move on to the divisional round, where they now host Kansas City in their first ever road playoff game with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. That's accurate, right?
That is accurate.
Yeah, like this is big news here. If you have a chance to go to the game, highly recommend it. We're going to talk a lot about that matchup on Friday for the Betting on the Bills episode. One game closer to the bowl. 3 more, right? 3 more?
Well, I do have to say, in this podcast, we preach accountability. And
oh, God.
And listen, my picks this week, 1-5, just not it. I'm happy that the one was the Bills. So, I guess if someone was going to say you went 1-5, at least the Bills winning was correct. But, yeah, definitely have to, go back to the drawing board and, take this hard. Just some incredible. I mean, some of the picks were, listen, I didn't think anyone thought Dallas was going to get absolutely creamed by Green Bay. The Rams were a close game, so I'll take those ones. But
I like
even the Texans and Browns one. I don't think anyone really for that one.
No, but I like the upset and certain things like that.
The Dolphins and Eagles picks were just really poor process on my end.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's rough. I mean, the Eagles talk about rolling over and calling it quits.
Show in the belly.
Yeah, show in the belly. Baker Mayfield baked them last night. So we'll have to. We'll talk all about it on Friday. We'll make our new predictions for moving on and what we think's going to happen. I'll have to revisit mine. I don't remember exactly what I did, but we'll have them for you. But yeah, the Bills 31-17 over the Steelers in a great game, entertaining game to watch. I mean, they don't make it easy. They don't make it easy to watch sometimes, but you have to admit this one was a good one. Speaking of that, I think it's time to hit some of the highlights, and we've got a few scoring highlights for you today. We're going to start it out with a tight end festival here. Dawson Knox starts it out right there, right in the corner of the end zone. That wrist injury was a hindrance earlier in the year. He missed some time, got involved here. He had, 2 targets. One was for a touchdown, one was for a drop. So I know it's kind of the Dawson drop scenario. We don't know what's going on there, but catches the touchdown pass. And as promised, it's a cacophony of tight ends to start the game. Here comes our boy Dalton Kincaid. No, not Dalton from Roadhouse, not Patrick Swayze. Dalton Kincaid over the middle, right into the end zone. Absolutely burned the Steelers defense. You love to see the snowballs in the air. Reminiscent of the Dolphins game we were at last year. You're not stopping the snowballs from being thrown. I love seeing the celebrations on TV. It was like confetti in the stadium, and Dalton Kincaid's touchdown sure warranted that. Now we move to the Winter Soldier himself, Josh Allen. Pockets collapsing on him. He slips out. He is running for it. You think he's going down? Nope. He slides through the Pittsburgh defense. They don't know what just hit him. Dalton Kincaid lays down that last little block just to shove it in the face of the Steelers. He duped him. This Superman in the end zone, the flex. Oh my gosh. My jaw was on the floor. That 52-yard touchdown was the longest rush of his career and the longest touchdown in Bills playoff history. So, rushing touchdown, of course. Second longest rushing touchdown by a quarterback in NFL postseason history. So, big stat there for the guy. I mean, would you expect anything less is the question. Final scoring highlight of the game, Khalil Shakir makes an unexpected, a quick little over-the-top turn into a touchdown. He stays up, squeaks away, dekes out the defense, and he's running. He bumbles, stumbles, and rumbles his way into the end zone. I think that was Spencer Brown who just rolled in next to him, but they pick him up, put him on the shoulders, they hoist him up. absolutely warranted after a play like that. Is the Khalil Shakir experiment over? Absolutely not. This guy's been putting on a show all season long. You have to love it. Seeing a number 10 on the Bills in the slot doing things again is making my heart happy, because we had that with Cole Beasley. Khalil Shakir is really showing out. Is he the Bills slot receiver in the future? I asked you that question before we move into the down 5.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the most efficient players in the entire NFL. I think he's now caught his last 16 targets.
Yep.
So that's, 16 for 16 is pretty efficient. And his ability, that yak yards after catch adds another level of explosion to this offense. We saw it last week on the screen pass.
Yes, sir. We're a big yak podcast, if you can't tell.
Yak truthers. But yeah, he's been one of the most efficient players in football, and it's good to have him kind of take that wide receiver too. I know he plays in the slot, but with Gabe out, that was crucial. And our boy Knox scoring the touchdown. It's the 4th straight wild card game that Knox has scored the opening touchdown for the Bills.
Yeah, you remember that Patriots one? Yeah, that was a throwaway that he just grabbed out of the air.
The Colts one was a QB draw that ended up not working out, that he just threw to Knox. The one that he threw away, the one-hander improvised, and that one on the little corner route catching Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson, the same guy that talked a bunch of crap last year after intercepting Josh Allen in overtime as the Vikings, saying that he knew Gabe Davis was running the post route. Obviously, he freaking sorry, I almost shot the F on there. I'm very passionate about this. Man talks a lot of crap and is playing the deep third or whatever, and he bites on the freaking James Cook flat route and loses his man behind him. So good play there, 20.
Yeah, I mean, you got to love it, right?
I hope they show that when you make the Hall of Fame, by the way.
Yeah. It might be in the reel. We don't know. It's this game, 4 total touchdowns.
First time the Bills have covered as the 2 seed.
Look at that.
Let's
give a little
They were
clap.
2-0, 2-0 win-loss, 0-2 against the spread there. Now 3-0 and 1-2 against the spread. So
gotta love it.
And thank you to Jerry Jones and the entire Dallas Cowboys organization for losing, being the 2 seed, so we didn't have that over heads of the 2 seeds being undefeated. Again, Jerry, anytime you want to grab a mic and say you took credit for Jerry Johnson's team that built, took credit for that,
Yeah.
Maybe that will...
Jimmy Johnson? Yeah, you mean he kept him out of the Ring of Honor for a long time, too?
Yeah.
You were just basically hiding him? Yeah.
Maybe that will slay the demons, but let's go on to the down 5.
Yeah.
We don't care about
Waiting all weekend for the down 5. Here we go.
We don't talk about irrelevant teams here. Here we go, the down 5. Injuries mounting. Yeah, just really unfortunate. Mostly on the defensive side, obviously. Still offensively, McGovern a little dinged up, but he seemed to come back in ready to go. Obviously, still not having Gabe. Most likely, I would presume not having Gabe still. I think it was the PCL sprain. I don't know if they confirmed that, but that seems like kind of like a multi-week injury. But defensively, hopefully maybe we get Douglas and Dodson back. But Taryn got evaluated for a concussion. Benford seems he has like a similar type of injury to Rasul Douglas now, so he missed a week, and now we're coming back on 6 days of rest.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got Bernard, who luckily didn't break his ankle, but
we don't know.
With an ankle sprain, especially having to play linebacker where you had to cut and all that, that doesn't seem very promising that he'll be able to at least, even if he plays, be at the same level as player.
No, he really can't tape it up to be a peg leg effectively either.
Even though we had our own version of Justin Pugh, AJ Klein straight off the couch.
Hey, he said
tackles. Love the team in tackles. He played very well. Balen Spector got the knee to the back. He didn't return. So it's just one of the. I mean, they were so healthy 2 weeks ago.
We were literally boasting about how healthy they were. Too. I think we jinxed ourselves.
So healthy 2 weeks ago, but. I think it gives a lot of credit to McDermott for having 3rd and 4th string players in the game. And I know Pittsburgh was able to move the ball a little bit in the second half, but they got the key stops when they needed to. And on to number 2.
Yeah.
Mr. January comes through. Josh Allen. I'm sorry. I like Mr. January. I think that's a cool nickname that Tony nickname.
He gave. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm always a Winter Soldier guy, as you heard in the highlights, but Mr. January is pretty good too.
I know Mr. November. The Yankees. So
Mr. November for the Bills is just a homeless man because they can't win in November. It seems so.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you don't want to be Mr. November in Buffalo.
But Mr. January comes through. Hopefully this year, this is his first time being Mr. February. But yeah, I mean, what a game from Josh. 70% completion percentage, 200 yards passing, 3 tutties, and another 70 yards, obviously the 52-yard touchdown, on the ground. So about 275 total. He was just in control the entire game, no turnovers. I didn't feel like he really forced or had any really close. I mean, obviously the one to Diggs was a little bit close to being turnover, but that was more of a great play by the secondary than a poor decision. So
Right.
listen, he had a couple misfires, a couple of drops, a couple almost complete. I mean, great plays by the Pittsburgh Steelers defense that you gotta give credit to, the post to Diggs or that post corner to Kincaid. Either one of those going, that's another touchdown. So very close to an elite day statistically, but even without the box score looking, I mean, it's just he was in control the entire game.
Yeah, you didn't see Sugar High Josh at all in that game. And, he's the first player in NFL history to throw 3 touchdowns while rushing for over 70 yards and a touchdown in a playoff game. So, again, the accolades just keep pouring in for this guy. And he, like you said, Mr. January, the Winter Soldier, he shows up when you need him to. Was I surprised? No, it's playoff Bills football. That's just what it is when Josh Allen's at the helm of the team. You get these crazy games. You get these crazy stat lines from guys. Not one player repeated receiving a touchdown yesterday. It was everyone got a piece of the pie. Diggs was utilized too in the beginning of the game. That was a sight for sore eyes as well. He was making some big plays. Got the wind knocked out of him at one point. Got very nervous there, but Mr. January, he cut that. It's like when you're in elementary school and you get the pizza party and you get like the sliver of pizza because they only order like a large for like 20 kids. He did that for the Bills yesterday. He was spreading the pie around.
He did a good job, and also he has now the most total. I don't know why they said offensive touchdowns in the thing, but I'm just gonna say total touchdowns in Bills history in the playoffs of 24. Thurman has 21. Jim Kelly, I believe, he also has 21 as well. So obviously those guys have played significantly more games than Josh. Josh only played 9. So
yeah.
A lot. It just seems, Jim Kelly said a couple years ago, it just seems like Josh is gonna break all my records, and then it's looking like it.
I mean, it's happening. So, and
right before our eyes.
Yeah, and another little stat here on the touchdowns. Josh joined Mahomes as the only player with 23 plus total touchdowns in their first 9 career playoff games. So, I mean, look at that. It's just, I'm telling you, we're in the golden age 2.0 right here. So I'm excited.
It's nice. Number 3. Special teams need to chill. I mean,
maybe warm up.
Listen, Sam Martin got special teams player of the month, and I thought he deserved it. And honestly, he didn't punt that bad, even for a bad hammy. Like, it's not like he shanked it. Like, it was a solid punt. So
was it his kicking leg he pulled the hammy?
No, it was his left leg.
His left leg.
If it was his kicking leg, he definitely wouldn't have been able to kick.
Tyler Bass did record a couple punts in college, though. I think
5.
Yeah. So I mean, he could have done it if we had to.
I mean, it's kind of the return game again. Kind of wasn't really a big factor, but the kicking game, I mean, just first, I'm not even talking about the block field goal. Like, missing a 27-yard field goal at any level is unacceptable, especially when it's not blocked, which it seems like it wasn't. It was just a shank. I don't know if it was the timing was wrong, the hold was wrong, because the snap looked good and the hold kind of looked good too. So I don't know what was up with Bass there, but that was really freaking annoying because that would have been a 3-possession game with 2 months to go, no timeouts, and it was over. I'm not saying. I mean, it gave the Steelers at least somewhat of an opportunity, even though the Steelers decided to not realize that they needed a touchdown and not kick and another touchdown. It seemed like they were just going, and then they threw it in the end zone once. So
yeah, they just kept running it with Jalen Warren too, with like little time left.
They just kept checking it down, which is why you play prevent in that situation. Just let the other team just self-inflict. That was just stupid.
Yeah.
Really poor coaching the Steelers, but we're not talking about that. The other one, I mean, just the big one, the block. I mean, just. So I think all the things can be true at once. One, bad kick by Bass because it seemed like kicking from that side of the field, a lot of the balls are going short, so it makes sense that you would want to put a little bit more into it, but it was too low and it gets blocked. I just think it was a bad decision too by McDermott. I think McDermott had a really good game. I mean, first off, I thought he had 2 good challenges. Obviously, got the first challenge that turned into 7 points. Thought the second one was really close. I mean, maybe he touches Frymuth's helmet when he's out of bounds.
But
so I guess that's also another gripe. Everyone talks about how fumbling out of bounds and giving the defense fumbling out of bounds to the end zone is the worst rule. The worst rule in football is the fact that you could challenge twice and be right both times, and you're out of challenges.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's stupid.
If you miss 2, that would be acceptable. But if you're actually winning the challenges. You should be able to just keep going until you start losing 2.
That's just incredibly a stupid rule. With that being said, I didn't like the decision to kick there because you're up 21-0. You have all the momentum. It's 4th and 7. I'm not saying punt because punting, what? I mean, you get to maybe the 8, so it's 20. Is 20 yards of field position that valuable?
Yeah.
No. But, like, if you miss the field goal straight up, they're starting at their own 39. That's 8 yards. And where they ended up was the Bills' 33 because they got blocked back so hard. So, from my perspective, I think the Bills should have just went for it and said, if we miss it, okay, they start at the 31. We gave it a rest go instead of kicking a field goal. And also, the reason why I wasn't pro field goal either is because a field goal doesn't really do much for you because if you kick the field goal to go up 24-0, you're still only up 3 scores.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a kind. I just like that was a little. That was. I know it's 4th and 7, and then you're gonna the comeback could be like, oh, on 3rd and 7 they should have ran the ball and maybe get to 4th and 4, 4th and 3, and it's kind of like, yeah, but on 3rd and 7 they took a shot to the end zone and it was this close to hitting. So like,
right.
I just think it was poor process to not go for that 4th down.
No, I would agree.
But they need to chill out. They need to chill.
Yeah, they need to chill. It's true. I mean, Bass did not have a great night at all last night, and that's tough to see because you want consistency. And this season, I feel like we've talked about it ad nauseum. The special teams has not been consistent in the slightest. You have all-time performances, and then you have the lowest of the low, and you're basically riding the Josh Allen roller coaster, but with special teams. But you expect it from one, not the other. So you're hoping they chill.
Just not good enough. Just not good enough.
No.
Again, that's another like points just left on the board. 6 points in the kicking game left on the board. It's just tough.
Listen, it could have been a repeat. You could have gotten to 47-17 again. It would have been a repeat of the Patriots game. But points on the board, like you said.
Yeah, just it's pathetic. Also, I just gotta say with special teams, Mike Tomlin, I have no idea why he didn't call timeout at the end of the first half to make Sam Martin punt. Another reason why he's just like
yeah, out. Who cares about the winning records? You're
mediocrity is a bad place to be in professional sports. But on to number 4, Dawson drops. Really? Yeah, this guy over here knew I was doing the Dawson drops one. Decided to sneak in the fact that he had that touchdown on 2 targets. It's more of a frustration than anything else because, like, okay, the touchdown, great play. All credit to him. But, like, you just can't drop that ball.
No.
Because, as we alluded to, end of half really didn't go the Bills' way. They were up 21-0. This close to going up 28-0. This close to going up 24-0. Get the kick blocked. All of a sudden, it's 21-7. All right, we get the ball. The Steelers get a stop, forcing the end of the half. So I was like, okay, like this is like, whoa, that was kind of bizarre. But
momentum flipped quick.
Momentum was shifted for sure.
Yeah.
And the first play, beautiful play design. Boom, knocks wide open for a 15-yard gain. Catches a 10 yards, but where he was running, and you just drop it. It's like, bro, he hits you in stride, 10 yards down the field. You're Dawson Knox. You're a tight end. You're athletic. You probably could have got another 10 in yak.
Who knows if he just trucked someone, too, just kept going.
Yeah, and then the next play is a sack by Alex Highsmith and then a check down and ended the drive. And it was like, okay, like momentum is complete now on our side. Now it's all on the Steelers. Like, that was 1,000% shifted the complete momentum of the game.
Yeah, because, the Steelers were really rallying at that point. They started to put drives together. They were moving the ball. Listen, I did sneak in that one of his 2 targets was for a touchdown. Is the drop excusable? No. I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just saying that we do need to we need to remember he did contribute to the scoreboard in this game as well.
Anyone could have ran that corner out.
But who did?
I'm just saying. That's a crucial drop in a crucial moment.
It is. It is.
On to number 5. The Dragon comes to town on Sunday.
Oh, God.
I could have bet you when the wild card seedings when the season ended and the wild card, I could have bet my entire life savings that if the Bills and Chiefs won, they were going to play on 6:30 on CBS.
Yeah.
Because what happened in 2021?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
This is the supreme game of the weekend. I know Packers Niners is kind of what's the word to say? Probably like brand wise, maybe the best because
NFC historically, yeah, you're two old teams going at it, and so but it'll be good. That'll be a good game.
This is the best 2 quarterbacks in the league. I know Lamar could have a case going in there now for a second. He's gonna win the MVP.
Yeah.
Also, how about that second team All-Pro Dak Prescott?
That's what I literally said. I said that yesterday. I'm like, can we believe Dak Prescott's an All-Pro in JA-17 is not?
I'm sorry, that's worse because the All-Pros matter. I mean,
It's not the Pro Bowl. It's
not the Pro Bowl.
All pros do matter.
All pros legitimately do matter, and that is just Josh finishing fourth is just.
Yeah.
But
look at how Dakota played too.
Yeah, but again, we gotta stop talking about irrelevant Cowboys. But
Yeah, Jerry Jones is gonna burn the franchise.
Going back to the Bills and Chiefs, I mean, it's the matchup everyone wanted.
The script couldn't have been written any better.
The script can be written right. Well, where's Mahomes' first true road playoff game?
In Buffalo,
New York. Orchard Park, New York, I should say.
Orchard Park, New York, home of the Buffalo Bills.
Home of the Buffalo Bills against Josh Allen. This is the matchup that we didn't get last year in the playoffs because the Bills didn't get the job done against the Bungles. Now we get the matchup, and I think this matchup could mean a lot because there's a chance that the winner of that game could host the AFC Championship game. We don't know what's going to happen with Baltimore. They're going to be rusty. They have 2 weeks. I mean, they punted on week 18. They had the bye. The last time they did that was 2019. They got slapped around by Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and the Bills have slapped him around in the playoffs as well.
I just think it could be that. I mean, we'll know by game time if that winner is going to host the AFC Championship game. So
yeah,
I mean that could add another thing. But again, this is the Bills draft. You know, I said this to my dad last night. Like, for Peyton Manning and the Colts to win the Super Bowl, they had to go through Tom Brady.
Yep.
It wouldn't have felt right if they won the Super Bowl and they somehow escaped.
Right. Brady didn't make the playoff, whatever.
Yeah,
like it would have not been the same.
And they didn't. And they failed multiple times until 2006. They got Tom Brady in the Dome in Indianapolis.
Yep.
They got the job done, and then they won the Super Bowl. You got to slay your dragons before you win the bowl, and this is the Bills dragon.
It is, and this is, I mean, it's storybook
Demon.
at this point. Like, that's kind of what we're looking at here. This is the duel of fates at this point.
As my brother Ron would be very happy, the Bills need to become demon slayers.
They do. Yes. Yeah. They do. It's true. Mahomes has had their number in the playoffs. The Chiefs versus Bills playoff record, not good. Bills can beat them in the regular season, haven't been able to do it in the playoffs yet. At home, first time the Chiefs will be in Orchard Park with Patrick Mahomes with fans too, because the last time they were there was we were playing Nat Sound in the stadium, so that'll be a whole different factor. Maybe there'll be some residual snowballs to be throwing too, so we'll have to see if that happens. But no, this is the biggest game of the week. Nance and Romo are going to be on the call. It's going to be literally the revenge of 13 seconds. That's kind of what it's being touted as, and I think we're going to see a hell of a game. We'll talk about it on Friday, but it's going to be good.
I do also think it's funny that there's potential because CBS, if I'm correct, is the Super Bowl this year.
We're going to see their new updated graphics too.
And obviously the AFC, the CBS owns the rights to the AFC Championship game, so there is potential where Tony Romo and Jim Nance are calling 4 straight Josh Allen games.
Hey, I think they'd love it. I'm going to be honest with you. I truthfully, you heard Tony. They're the ones who predicted the Bills to make this run. Literally, they said I wouldn't be surprised at the Eagles game. I wouldn't be surprised if they make the run through they could be high up in the playoffs. They're the 2 seed.
Listen, I think home field is important because I think going to Arrowhead's hard. Obviously, the Bills were able to win earlier in the year. They got to play better than they did that game if they want to win this game because I think the Chiefs are going to play better than they did that game.
Or you bait Kadarius Toney to line up off sides. That's what you have to do.
And the Bills just need to, obviously, they have a little bit of a disadvantage the 2 days up on the Bills. Chiefs are in terms of rest, so the Bills got to rest up, get those injuries figured out. But is this going to come down? I mean, listen, the last 2 times, really, you could go the last 3 times if you want to count the 21 playoffs, but it's kind of weird because Josh did come through. But the last couple of times the Bills and Chiefs have played each other, it's been each quarterback gets a drive in the fourth quarter with the game on the line. And the last 2 times, Josh has been able to get points on his drive, and Mahomes is unable to respond.
Yeah, Bills defense.
I know in 21 it was kind of
back and forth.
They both responded, so it was kind of weird because then it just ended on a response, and
the
other guy didn't get. Yeah, so I just think it's
going to be a good game, and I mean the producer and I can attest to this, being former competitive swimmers. My favorite part of the swim season was the championship part where we went to the big championship meet, and it was rest and taper time because we had our best races coming out of a rested up week. So just let the Bills rest up. And I mean, I have full confidence the Bills can take care of business at home in Buffalo. We'll talk about it Friday. I'm not going to get into it too much, but go Bills, squish the Chiefs. I don't know. What do we say? What would be the slogan real quick here? Do you have any ideas on the top of your head?
Nah, just slay the dragon. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
I
Yeah,
don't
slay the
know.
dragon.
I
We'll
don't
figure,
ever
we'll
think-
figure something
Listen,
out.
the Bills just gotta play complementary football. They need
Mhm.
all three phases hitting. They need to get a little bit healthier defensively.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be. Listen, the Chiefs have an elite defense for the first time in the Mahomes era.
They do.
I think you saw that they listen. The Chiefs. I think another thing that is important about them, this game being played in Buffalo, is that the Chiefs have very physical corners, and the refs kind of let the Chiefs kind of dictate the game last time they played, of just letting the DBs get all over the Bills wide receivers, and it's a big reason why the Bills also lost the 2020 AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So being played in Buffalo, maybe you get a favorable whistle with defensive pass interference, defensive holding, and that jazz. So listen, the Bills just got to play their game. They got to be able to run the ball effectively. They were able to do that against the Steelers. They did that for the first half really well against the Chiefs last time, not so much in the second half. So, and of course, it's always going to be this thing with Josh is just take care of the football. You saw it last game against the Chiefs. The Bills up 14-0, and he threw a pick, and then the Chiefs got right back in the game on the touchdown. So don't let them off.
Yeah. No, you can't let them off easy. You got to take care of business at home. This is the best matchup you could have gotten, I think, and just keep it rolling. I think I have full confidence in the Bills.
But there goes the down 5. Listen. You got to win these games. They're able to win at home.
Survive in advance.
And for your team, it was a good test as well because I think the Steelers are a pretty decently coached team. So, it was a. I wish it wasn't as close. Of course, knowing the Bills, they kind of pulled a little bit of a Dolphins wild card from last year, up 21-0. All of a sudden, gets the one score, but it just feels
That's
like
Bills
it
football.
just feels like this season, man. But 1 down, 3 to go, 1 game at a time.
Yep. 1 game at a time, survive in advance.
How about those Buffalo Sabres? The performance of yesterday, I don't even know where we started with the Bills. I mean, the Sabres, a complete dominant 3-0 performance against the Sharks. No, I'm just kidding. They looked awful for the first 2 periods.
Yes. And then
The first 4, this team just drives me insane.
Let's just do a quick recap of the homestand so far since the last episode. They beat the Senators 5-3. They dropped to the Canucks 1-0. I believe that was the game we said would probably be the easiest one for them. The Canucks game did not turn out to be. And then they rallied and
the
got
Canucks are the best team in that homestand.
right.
The Sharks are the one that's
The Sharks, yes.
and they end up somehow
3-0.
I shouldn't say somehow, but yeah. I mean, unfortunately for
3-0.
us Sabres fans, we don't have a lot to hold our hats on. And of course, tomorrow they play the Blackhawks, and Connor Bedard comes to town. Oh wait, yeah, he's a broken jaw. He's not playing. So,
Patrick Kane? No, he's not on that team.
no,
What team did he go to?
He's on Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
He's also injured.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't even think about that.
But it's just this is going to the downfield. What am I saying?
This is not.
Skinner needs a raise. I gotta say, Skinner, $9 million is he overpaid, but dang, is he important to this team because this team cannot produce any offense without him. I mean, the offense just took a complete crap against Vancouver. They barely registered any expected goals in the third period, down 1-0 on 5-5. I mean, are you kidding me? The Sharks was a gutless performance too. Really, I know they won, but they didn't turn that on until late. I mean, credit for them turning on late, but
Not good.
I don't know, man. It's just
it's tough because last season we talk about it every episode how excited we were to go into this season, seeing the growth in this team. It's constant regression. I feel like we see these good performances against bad teams, but the moment a competitive game comes around, they just roll over. I don't know. It's very frustrating at this point. As a fan of the Sabres, as a fan who was out of it for a long time because they were horrible, and recently, since starting a podcast talking about them, got back into it. Just not the best vibe going into this.
No, he's an important 5-on-5. I know the defense can drive you insane, and sometimes it bites him in the butt. But
Yeah.
5-on-5 offensively, he really does a good job. And it really helps the lineup become deeper, and not having him has been
You can tell when he's not there. He's a big part of it.
big reason, and he's the reason why he plays in the top line.
Yeah.
On number 2. It's UPL's crease. I know we've said this multiple times, and we've also, like, it's just a roller coaster of UPL, but at this stage of the game, he's playing the best. He's playing better than Levi. I think the last couple of games, he's 4-1. He has saved 6 or 5 goals above expected. Obviously, just had the second shutout of the season. He had a bad fate against the Canucks, the 1-0 game, won the game against the Senators as well. So he's played very well, and you got to give credit where credit is due. And I just think at this point of the season, where the Sabres are in the standings, 42 points in 44 games, it's just not going to be their year. I'm just going to say it. So
it's unfortunate, but it's true.
I think they just need to, in these last 37 games, you got to answer some questions of what is UPL. So I think giving him the extended crease, I know they started in the last 3 games, but giving him the extended crease will figure out what truly he is. Is he a guy that maybe in the offseason we think of trading? If we can improve,
if he can build up value for him.
If he can build up value,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And for me, the situation with the goalies is I think it's fairly obvious that they need to find a way to, in the trade deadline, sell/buy. I think that's always kind of an underrated thing in the trade deadline. I don't understand. I've never understood why only the contending teams buy and the bad teams sell. I think there's spots where you saw it, I guess, last year at Chickering going to Ottawa. Like, there's spots where these teams that aren't going to make the playoffs can get real good players. And I would think if I was the Sabres, I would look to add a veteran goaltender at the trade deadline, because then I could send Levi down to the AHL, help out Rochester. Maybe Rochester goes on a run and they go to the playoffs, and then Levi has playoff AHL experience. So that's what I would do personally. I would look to add a goaltender to have him and that goaltender in Levi. That goaltender in UPL, figure out what UPL is, kind of also see how the veteran goaltender fits in the mix, and then have Levi start developing in Rochester. I just think they need to go full-on development. Like, if I was the Sabres, again, I'm saying this a lot, but I would do that plan for goaltender. I would figure out to have Ryan Johnson in my lineup every single day, and I would find a way to get Yuri Kulik up here and if Jeff Skinner's not going to play, then let's get him that top line, and then have, like, or normal, the dog line, the kid line, let's have Kulik, Thompson, Tuck, and the fourth line. Let's do that. Let's figure out what some of these forwards are in Rochester. Like, give them not just like, oh, we're gonna put you with Eric Robinson and Peyton Krebs.
Put them with players.
Let's give them a legit opportunity, because you're not going anywhere. I'm sorry, you have to be realistic. You aren't going anywhere. So I would just go full. I mean, it sucks to say, but, like,
it's done.
Listen, either you're gonna get stuck in mediocrity, and congratulations, you played your quote unquote best lineup, even though I think playing these prospects are your best lineup, and you get 85 points. Like, that doesn't do much for me. I'd rather have them finish with 80 points, 78 points, and have played Yuri Kulik on the top line, Ryan Johnson every day, and brought Levi down to the AHL, than not have a rotation at the top line, Eric Johnson in the lineup, or Connor Clifton, and have Levi struggling in the NHL and finish with 85 points.
Right, and
the standings does not matter at this point.
No, you're like you said, you're not going anywhere. So you need to get these prospects up here and playing, and like you said, play with actual players. Don't just stick them on the bottom lines and hope for the best. They need a true chance to develop up here and get a taste of what it is to be an NHL hockey player. And I don't know. Like you said, they're not going anywhere. It's at this point, it's time to start experimenting.
You need to figure out who these people are.
It's time to start experimenting.
You need to figure out who these people are, because in the offseason, you got to figure out which ones should we trade and which ones should we keep.
Yep, and that's going to be...
You need to get definitive answers on that.
Yep, and you're going to see if Kevin Adams is true GM material this offseason.
Well, he's done if he doesn't.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
He gets one more year. Go on number 3, please. Granado's bum. He's getting warmer. Excuse me.
Was it already hot?
It was already hot, but it's like he was already like, is his seat hot? Yes, he's on level 1 of the seat warmer. He's now gone to level 2. Honestly, he's all the way scorching for me. He was at 2, now he's all the way to 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the Sharks' performance. That wasn't even that good of a performance. I mean, getting shut out at home is really unacceptable. I don't know what the organization is doing. Listen, I'm not going to pretend to say he got dealt a great hand. Like, Adams definitely screwed him with the goaltending, and not adding, I think just banking on internal development was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, the fact that I'm getting a quote in 2024 from Rasmus Dahlin that, yeah, man, like, I don't feel like I could join the Rush because I feel like I have more defensive responsibilities. I'm sorry, that is a Ralph Kruger quote.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me that wasn't from an article from 2021 from the Buffalo News.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't tell me the soccer coach wasn't behind that one.
that is pathetic. Like,
It's bad.
like, I just don't understand that. Like, just, like, I'm trying to think of, like, a good example off the top of my head, but I'm struggling, but I guess a football team would be a good example. If your defense was not good, your defense could still get good results. Why? If the offense is so good, they dominate the time of possession.
Yep.
Perfect example. Oh, I got an example of a game now.
Okay. All right. What is it?
Super Bowl 25, Bills Giants.
Yep.
That Giants defense gets a crap ton of credit for that game. And a little bit rightfully so, they had a nice game plan. However, Thurman Thomas went freaking off on them, so I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Mm-hmm. They had the ball for under 20 minutes, the Bills' offense in that game. Why? Because the Giants' offense ran the ball down their throat and dominated the time of possession for 40 minutes.
Burn clock. Yeah.
They burned clock. It wasn't like the Giants had the Giants' defense gets so much. I'm sorry, I see that video so much about Bill Belichick talking about that. Yeah. You get so and listen, they get credit for stopping the passing attack and they stopped the passing over the middle. Thurman Thomas literally ran the ball on them for 150 yards and 2 tutties. Like, what are we talking about there?
Yeah.
The reason why they won the Super Bowl is not because the Giants defense reinvented the wheel. It's because the Giants offense had the ball for 40 minutes. So like, the Sabres are struggling defensively. Like, yeah, sure, improve defensively a little bit. But like, wouldn't the best thing would be like your best player, Rasmus Dahlin, join the rush, and then maybe you have scoring chances off the rush, or he's so good offensively that you could have dominate the time of possession in the offensive zone. What does that mean? Less time in your zone. Less time for the defensive woes to get exposed.
Yep, you're absolutely right. 100%.
Like, it's just ridiculous that we're getting that quote. That's what drives me nuts about like the Owen Power thing. Is like Owen Power dominates time of possession in the offensive zone. So yeah, occasionally he has a screw up in the defensive zone, but they don't have a lot of time in the defensive zone because they do a good job on his shifts. Like, I'm sorry, it's just that is like that hit the straw for me.
You're right. It's literally the Ralph Kruger approach.
I was already out,
right.
But that quote made me go to the bathroom and like throw up. I was like, you gotta be kidding me on that. Like, what are we doing?
Well, that's the thing. We've been talking about it all season. They ditched that offensive rush for trying to cater to the defense, and it hasn't been working. It has not been working, and you're still trying to hang on to that. Clearly, if Rasmus Dahlin is saying
I just
that,
don't
like it's just you gotta.
They played too much with, you know sometimes. It's like studying sometimes for a test. Sometimes knowing too much actually does not help you on the test.
No.
Because then all of a sudden you miss the question that you would have just naturally known. Right? It is natural for Rasmus Dahlin to join the rush and make a play off the rush.
Yep.
But now he has so much thoughts in his brain, he's indecisive, and then he gets caught in nowhere, and then there's a turnover, and all of a sudden he's out of position, and it looked like, dude, just join the rush at that point, because now you're out of position defensively.
We saw this with another Buffalo superstar to start the NFL season, Josh Allen. Everyone
you know other passes too? The special teams has not been fixed. Like, the PK still sucks, and the power play isn't good.
Yep.
Like, that's coaching. So
you digress.
I'm done talking about the Sabres. I'm done talking about the Sabres.
He's
but
flamed. Yeah,
they're pathetic.
No, I echo everything Dom says. Truthfully, I'm just more numb than he is. He's clearly very, very. It's just at this point in the season, you're not going anywhere. Experiment. Granato in the beginning was known for experimenting a little too much. Where did the experimentation go? I don't know. It's just
it'd be a great experience. It'd be a better one, a better experience. If you're not even gonna do like the roster development, how about this?
We sit Granato for a few games?
No. How about you fire Matt Ellis and you let someone else run the power play and maybe you get change?
Right.
How about that? Is that I mean, like, really?
I mean, you're basically just you know what the problem is. You're just overlooking it.
We're stuck in quicksand.
Yeah.
And instead of being like, you know what? Instead of waiting for my friend to grab a branch for me, I see a thing that I could grab and pull myself out of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm just gonna wait for Matt Ellis, my friend, to grab a branch. Oh wait, sorry, Matt. My bad, Matt. Sorry, that was too short, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Matt, that one's not sturdy enough for me to grab.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Matt, that one has poison ivy on it. Like
Not
I
good.
don't want to get rashes on my hand. Like
Yeah,
Matt does not have the solutions to the power play.
No, it's like you keep reaching your hand out and you keep getting burned.
Yeah, dude,
You
just
just keep
get out
getting
of here
burned.
with that.
And I mean, you look at around the studio. We have pictures of the Sabres. I don't know, like these electric plays. Tuck going crazy over there. Thompson screaming after a goal next to Dom.
Trash.
Where's that? Where is that?
We gotta start with the Houston.
We used to
Astros.
go to games frequently, not even think about leaving, even if they were losing, because guess what? They were exciting to watch. Now we're talking about goddamn churros on the show because the Sabres suck so bad.
And the cotton candy.
And the cotton candy machine and the milk, whatever. Like that's what we're at. That's where we're at right now. And as a Buffalo sports fan, just
we deserve better.
we deserve better. The Bills understood that. We're getting better from the Bills.
The Bills fired Ken Dorsey.
The Bills fired Ken Dorsey midseason.
They did something.
They saw a problem, squashed the bug. Sabres, we got the bug in a cup and we're bringing them outside, except we're in a labyrinth and we can't get outside. That's what's happening right now. You have the problem in your hand. You know what it is. Not fixing it.
They had the bug and they fumbled it multiple times.
Yeah.
And they got to get it back and fumble it. some
Right now,
more.
it's on the top of the curtain. You can't
Now
grab
it's all
it.
sentence in my mouth. Like, oh my god.
Oh my
like,
god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like,
All right, that got off the rails.
unbelievable.
There,
but that will do it for the Sabres talk. I do have to say one more thing before we end the pod.
Okay, what you got?
My disappointing news of maybe the year.
Oh god.
That college football is starting a video game.
Yes, they
It's
are.
returning NCAA.
July
July
something.
12th.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a hoax.
No way.
Yep. Crap. Absolute
They said they
dog
were
crap.
gonna throw a trailer up during the college football championship too, and the national championship, and they never
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, bunch of liars. I'm disappointed right now.
EA should lose all rights to Madden. I'm done with that too. It's ridiculous. Give it back to 2K.
Just
We'd have a
give it to
much better
Give it to
game.
the people that are on MLB. MLB is a good game.
San Diego
Yeah.
Studios. Yeah. There. We talked about it. There's
They
a
have their
clip of us
press,
on
right?
on our TikTok talking about our endorsement for MLB The Show as the best sports game. So.
MLB The Show is a nice game. I mean, baseball can get kind of boring sometimes playing it over and over, but like,
I mean, when you play the big moments, you know, I'm racking up 178 home runs on a season, so you gotta love it. It's really anyway. We digress. EA scumbag gave us a hoax. We can't trust.
we just
EA.
can't have nice things. We just
cannot have nice
before
things.
we end,
Except
before we end though, who do you think should be the cover though? If the game is even going to come out,
is that a question? Can I product placement here? Can that happen? So for my final project right here for my class, my sports PR class, we had to make a Heisman campaign for someone. Pre-fumble in the college football national championship, we picked Michael Penix, my group. We made a working cover for NCAA football 2025. I might mail this to EA and say put a disc in here because we don't know what's going on. But yeah, I think Michael Penix might be it. Truthfully, JJ McCarthy's a good bet too. Except he did nothing. He only threw 10 times in the national championship.
I will
So,
make
I
my
don't know.
prediction right now that it will be Nick Saban.
You think? Oh, that's a good pick too. I coaching wise, I didn't even think about that. Right, the big retirement for Nick. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's a lot of good options. We won't get a game till 2030 though, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, but without further ado, that's going to do it for this edition of the Buffalonian Podcast. I'm Joe Callie. As always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss, and thank you to our producer Mooch for everything you do for the show. We got 3 more games of playoff football in the championship, so we're going to be with y'all for all 3 more weeks. Dom, how do you always end these, buddy?
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills, Sabres, be better.